This is the festival. Ta-da. For those of you who don't know, we did our first festival last summer. It was our very first one in Bermondsey Square, and for those of you who might know London, Bermondsey Square doesn't have a massive natural footfall. And I was so scared that we were going to have brought all these producers to a space and nobody would turn up. But actually 2,500 people turned up, and it was the busier than I ever anticipated. We did the festival because of you guys, because of what you told us. The one thing I'm always really clear about is our members are still people who want to go out, have a good time, go and eat meals out, go to restaurants, go to pubs on a Sunday afternoon. But you always kept telling me there wasn't any good alcohol-free drinks. And then when we started to do some work with pubs and bars on why they didn't serve better alcohol-free drinks, they then told us there was no demand. And then when they began to think there was demand, which this has all been quite rapid, they didn't know what to get. So we thought we'd bring all of our favourite drinks together in one space for everybody to try out. Now you will see that there are some pretender festivals coming. Well, they're not as good as ours, partly because I think the passion within this community for the wide range of alcohol-free alternatives is just amazing. And it's that passion that means we put together what is an absolutely amazing event. And so I'm going to take you through some of the things that we've got happening this year. I want to tell you first of all about some of our events. So we have got beer sommelier Jane Paynton. She won the Lifetime Achievement Award for beer last year, and she will be taking you through the alcohol-free beers at the festival and taking you through a tutored tasting. This is free, and it's at 12 o'clock on the day of the festival above Patisserie Valerie. We're in Spitalfields, which is a rather big market, but we're near the Liverpool Street end, and finding Patisserie Valerie means you would have found us. I would normally say that you'll find us by looking for the white canopy next to the goat statue, but they've currently taken the canopy away for repair. So the beer tasting happens at 12, and let me just tell you about the beers. So we've got some beers here. First of all, I will always recommend Heineken 00 to you, not only because they sponsor the festival, but actually even people I know who are real beer heads who wouldn't necessarily touch a mass-produced consumer beer because they're all big real ale buffs, of which I know many. They all taste this and say, well, it may not be my favourite beer, but it does taste like Heineken. And I'll always remind you with alcohol-free drinks that you will, if you never liked the drink before, you're not going to like it now. So, you know, don't worry if you don't like Heineken 00. If it triggers you to want to drink the real thing, don't drink it. But otherwise, actually at 66 calories a bottle, 63 calories a bottle, this is pretty good. And now you'll be able to find it in lots and lots of places. And that will be at the tasting. And then we have Big Drop. Now, Big Drop have several beers. I think they might be launching a new one at the festival. But they have a stout that has won awards against full strength beers. They have a spiced ale, a pale ale, a sour, which I particularly like. And I've never been a beer fan myself, but I really like the sour. And I hear they might be launching something else. This is their lager. They've got beautiful labels and they're made in Ipswich. So those of you in East Anglia, this is your local beer. One of your local beer. There's a Suffolk beer as well, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. These guys you would never have tried yet because they're still really, really new. And in fact, the boys who invented this, I shouldn't really call them boys, but they're in their late 20s, brothers, I think. You know, they want to go out on an evening and they don't want to get so trolleyed, so they designed this beer for themselves. But it's been getting really good reviews, and you'll be able to try that at the festival and have a chat with them as well and hear a bit more about their story. Then we have, let me just go and grab some more. Oh my God. For those of you in the Suffolk area and those of you who are big ale heads in your olden days, St. Peter's is a craft beer done by St. Peter's Brewery. They call it St. Peter's Without. It's a 0.05, so that's the same as a cola and a lemonade and and loads of other things, but it's like a tiny, tiny amount of alcohol, tiniest amount. And that's very, I describe it as a bit like liquid rye bread, which is, they probably would not like me for saying it, but Jussi really likes it with his sort of Nordic tastes. So it's definitely a bit of a Marmite beer, but for those who love it, it's a really good craft beer. Then we have these guys. I've not tried this. They've got 2 beers. This one's a session IPA, and they've also got a porter. This shows you how much I knew about beers before now. So I am looking forward to trying these. This is actually 0.2% and has been developed by a UK guy, but with a brewery in Holland, I think. Dutch. I'm good. You know, this is what you expect from a beer tutoring session, right? I think this is where it's made. Then we have Fit Beer, which is made by the wonderful Becky and her brother Joe, again in their late 20s. If you don't know the story of this beer, it's because their father is an ex-alcoholic, and he always wanted to find an alcohol-free beer that was good to drink. And so they went on a family journey to find a really good beer, which they now make, which is an artisan lager made in Germany. But they found it and made it for their dad. And then together as a family, which I love them all to bits, they invested in Nirvana and Steve, who we really love. Now they make a whole load of beers now, including the fact that they've just been launching at the festival a kombucha beer. So that's a beer with some kombucha in, so that's with some live product in it, which I'm quite excited by. But also they're trying to crack, I'm not sure if they've done it yet, I think they have, I think it's their other one, which is a gluten-free, alcohol-free beer, and I know there's a few of you who are really up for that. And also the alcohol-free shop is bringing Ambar, which is also a gluten-free, alcohol-free beer. Is that all my beers? I think so. I think that's all the beers. There's something good, well, it's all the ones I've got here, but there's also something called Jelani beer, which we're currently having a debate about whether it's technically a beer, but that is made with tea and the babawa plant. It sounds like an interesting African-inspired malty drink. So we'll see how that goes. Then, at last, we've got bloody cider at the festival. Honestly, it's taken ages, although it's a fruit cider. But hey, Old Moat have launched a cider. They're berries and cherries. And to be honest, unlike other fruit ciders on the market, this one isn't heavy in sugar. So if you're looking for a light but fruity cider, then this one will be it, and they will be there as well. And it may be, and I don't know for definite, but it may be that Alcohol-Free Shop brings some Stowford Press, but I don't actually know if they stock it. Somebody else might be able to correct me on that. Now, that's the beers, and we talk a lot about beers in Club Soda, but actually what will be the star of this show is the fact that we've got 10 alcohol-free gin and tonic type things, 10 distilled spirit products. 7 of them, that's 7, isn't it? Yeah, 7 of them are a competitor to Seedlip, and I'll talk to you about some of them, and the other 3 are pre-bottled mixers. And you'll know that the alcohol-free G&T, which is here, is one of those. Made in Skipton. They'll be there with a whole stand this time, bless them, because they find this difficult. It's quite hard making a product. Then there'd be Duchess, which has come over from South Africa. I first tried this because Janet brought me a bottle over from when she was on holiday. But these guys will be there. It's got a very pretty, obviously we're all Duchesses in Club Soda, regardless of gender. So this could be the right tipple for you. So it's another pre-mixed gin and tonic. And then there's the new Gordon's one that you can now get in Asda. Wait a minute. And I persuaded them to come to the festival last minute. Really good. It means that we can show the full range of what's there. So what have we got next? Oh yeah, I was going to tell you about all the other botanicals because I just stopped short there. So what have we got? Well, Cedars are sponsoring the festival. Cedars comes in 3 flavours: crisp, original, and dry, I think. It's 0.5% compared to seed lips 0.05%. And I have to say, we tried these at Queers Without Beers this week, and I actually think these pack more of a flavour than other contenders on the market. And I think part of that is they've really worked very hard on the flavours. There's a lot of South African flavourings in there, and some Swedish flavourings based around the founders, who are Swedish and South African. But I think you're going to really enjoy trying these. And just to let you know, these 7 that you mix with tonic, you'll be able to taste in 2 Fever-Tree sessions. So you can go to either. That will be in the tasting space above Patisserie Valerie, and they're going to give you a perfect serve of all of these products. So Cedars is the big one to look out for. I think you're going to really enjoy that. Then we've got from, and I haven't got, this is Fever-Tree, the preferred tonic of our festival. Then we've got Silk Tree, which is from Ireland, and actually developed by some people who were members of 1 Year No Beer. But you know, they can't be perfect. They can't have joined the best possible online community. I mean, not everyone does. Although, as you know, we accept everybody regardless of whether they're in other communities as well. So that's absolutely fine, because for me, it's about getting you the support you want. This has got in it cloves and orange and juniper berries and lemon and coriander, and definitely worth a try. Got a big bottle here that's not open. I think we might have to do a competition to win some stuff. I reckon we should do that. So that's Silk Tree. Then we've also got Berkshire Blend, and some of you have tried this before. We did it at the lunch a couple of weeks ago in Berkshire, of all places. But this is definitely a lot more cucumbery. As you can see, a very different colour to some of the others, and definitely got some beautiful citrus and spicy flavours in it. But that's not where it ends, of course. I've told you there's going to be 7 of these, so that's 3. Then we've got Calieno, which we tried in Bristol early on, and I don't have a bottle here because she'll be launching at the festival. I'm very fond of Ellie in Bristol, who's developed this. She's in her late 20s, and she has used all of her Latin American background to try and create something with amazing flavour. The bottles are beautiful, and I really hope you go and try it and give her some feedback so she can check on that. We also have something called Sea Arch coming. So for those of you from the Southwest, this is developed in Torquay by a husband and wife who own their own pub, and it's got sea kelp in it. Who knew, right? There's all these amazing ingredients in these. We've also got Barago, which was going to be at the last festival and wasn't quite ready in the end. But again, it's a botanical that's got some really, really strong and interesting flavours in it and goes well with a tonic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Missed one out. What have I missed out? Wait a minute. Sea Arch, Calieno, Silk Tree. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to find out which one I've missed because I'm organised. So I actually think 2018 is the year of botanicals, right, guys? This is the big one. Now, next year could be wine or it could be cider. I'm not quite sure. Oh, yeah, the final one is Pimento coming from Italy. And again, I don't have a bottle here. He's bringing it all over with him, hopefully not in hand luggage on EasyJet. But again, really interesting flavours, a really lovely guy bringing something that will add into this space as well. It's got lemon verbena in it and rosemary and rose and all of those sorts of things. So again, a really interesting set of flavours happening. So all 7 of those will be at the tasting with Fever-Tree. You'll be able to try the pre-mixes on their stand. We've got all the beers and the ciders, and we've got wines. Now, I think there'll be 3 wines at the festival. And for those of you who haven't yet navigated your way around alcohol-free wines, here's my top tips for you. Just like other wine, you get what you pay for. So do shop around. You probably never liked all wines. Well, actually, that's not true. You never liked all wines for your first bottle. Then you would have drank any wine for your second bottle if you were like me. But But, you know, if you didn't like white wine, you might not like white wine, or you may now like white wine as an alcohol-free version now that you've given up drinking. What we always do when we go for an alcohol-free version of the thing that was alcoholic, we always feel a little bit disappointed. And the reason why we do that is because nothing is happening to our brain. That's the basic bottom line. Alcohol is a flavor enhancer, and it enhances your experience because of the way it affects your brain. You'll never quite get that kick, however much chili you put into a soda and that sort of thing. But what I have found is the alcohol-free wines, I don't always drink them on their own, although I think the fizzy de-alkalizes better than the still. So like Iceberg do a fizzy rosé and they do a fizzy white. I really quite like the fizzy white. I find them particularly good with food because there is something about that pairing that works particularly. Rather than just holding a glass, it definitely works better with food. So do try those out. You will have Iceberg, which is one of the most popular wines that you'll be able to get in all your supermarkets at the festival. And then Alcohol Free Shop will be there, and they will have the Carl Jung wines, which I think are particularly good, and even the red. And I think the red de-alkalizes, particularly is a particularly more challenging wine to de-alkalize and can't always taste very good. But the Carl Jung reds are very good. Their sparkling is amazing. I don't know if they're bringing any of the Pearl Blanc. They'll also bring their Win wines, which are organic and also really good quality wine. So do go and try those, but maybe go and try them when you've pick something up to eat from the market as well, and sit down and try it with some food and just think about how it changes that experience for you. So from being someone who never really drank alcohol-free drinks, I now will take an alcohol-free wine if I can, if I'm going for a meal, because it's the right thing to do with that food. So, and do give a lot of love to the Iceberg guys. They have been really, really supportive of us, and I really want to do more with them. It's just, I find wine's a really complicated space. Somebody told me that if the problem with alcohol-free wines is if wine merchants had to talk about alcohol-free wines, it would blow apart all the myths about alcohol about wine that they tell you as this premium, amazing product, which isn't really true, apparently. But who am I to say? Okay, so then what have we got? We've got a ton of craft sodas, and I can't necessarily take you through them all, but we've got things like, we've got Free Fresh coming, who's a lovely woman in London who's just set up her own cold pressed juice business. I love a glass of red, which is anything with beetroot in that gives an earthy taste, and she's definitely got one of those. This one is beetroot, carrot, pineapple, orange and lemon. It's called Ruby, and I think it always looks lovely in a glass when you're out for dinner or whatever. So do go for the cold pressed juices. Then we've got things like Licks and Kicks, which you've seen before, and Be Beautiful, which is a pre-canned cocktail from Holland. I think we've got a lot coming from Holland this time. Coconut water, pineapple, graviola and lemon. Does anybody know what graviola is? It's got a picture of a coconut on the front. I haven't tried these yet. We'll give those a go probably in the next couple of days. Then we've got 2 kombuchas coming from Australia. One of them, if any of you ever tried Love Kombucha, actually have worked with Love Kombucha to take over their processing plant and develop low bros together. So there isn't any air miles in low bros kombucha. I have to say, I'm loving this kombucha. Not only do they make a kombucha lemonade and a kombucha cola, so there's a base of kombucha in both of those products, but their original, which I'm always a big fan of, is only 18 calories a bottle. And some kombuchas are actually up to 60. That means they've taken a lot more of the sugar has come out through the processing, through the SCOBY eating it. And so to me, that's really quite interesting. And they still promise a ton more live cultures, which I guess if it's been kept for longer, processing for longer, is likely to be the case as well. So that I'm going away with at least 1 case of this. It's going to be mine or mine. Now, what else have we got? Ooh, right, we have got Square Root. Now, as you know, we're big fans of Square Root because they do seasonal sodas, but they also do collaboration shandies, and they've got some collaboration shandies with Chorlton Brewery in Manchester at the moment, and they're bringing a special one to the festival that has been developed using a beer that was a collaboration between women brewers. So that makes me really excited. So there's a women brewed and collaborative shandy at the festival. And I don't know what it's called because we got a call from Nigel Barden, the food critic, saying he was going to feature the festival again and could I send him some more drinks. And literally we had hardly any. And I was going, I still want to send Square Root. We've got no Square Root because this one's out of date. And although I still drink it. And then suddenly there's like fate intervened. Square Root dropped in. They said, just walking past, I've got a shandy in my bag. Do you want it? We were like, yeah, let's put it straight in the box. But I think it's something lemony and beery and womanly and all of those things. So do come and try it. Do come and try their seasonal sodas, all lower in sugar and all beautifully made. So yeah. Then we've got Chilio. Now Chilio don't have a stand because they're so new. They couldn't get a stand because we'd sold out. But they're going to sponsor the Quitlit. Now, the Quitlit Fest, Book Fest, is 4 authors who write about mindful drinking, 2 about giving up drinking, 2 about mindful drinking, including Andy from 1 Year No Beer. It's Andy, isn't it? Anyway, and they did their book, The 28-Day Challenge. So I'm going to be hosting that session. Chilio will be giving out free drinks. There's 60 places on a first come, first serve basis. And I think this is like the one that Club Soda guys should really come along to and make sure that they're there for, to hear how other people have done it, have a conversation about drinking habits. Then we've got Soda Folks sodas. I love them because they've got these cool little pictures in the front, which are all famous people from Colorado, which is what inspired their drinks, although they're made in the UK. And these are very special. So in my love of tea, I met a guy, the guy who makes these, on a tea crawl that me and Kyle went on. He's a friend of Kyle's. This takes 6 months to make, this shrub. And you know I'm a big fan of Shrub because Shrub will be there as well, which is the guy Walthamstow who makes his drinks. But outside of drinks, I've got this amazing range, including another one which has got orange and bee pollen in. And they are just amazing and interesting and complex and not cheap at all. I'm saving this one for special. When's it out of date? 14th of August. I need to have this one soon. Anyway, and these are, you know, not everyday drinks, but a really special drink that will go with food. We've also got people that you'd have been used to seeing before, like pimento. So those of you who've not yet stocked up on pimento or want to have a conversation with them about the cost of postage, have a chat with them there. That's a chili soda. There will be, as you can see, chili is looking to be a very popular ingredient these days in sodas. We've got Crafty Botanist who have produced some new drinks. They were testing them out at the last festival and now they've got their final versions at this one. Oh gosh, what else do we have? There will be Shatner's cocktails. Redemption are coming. They're the only food vendor on the square. There's a lot of food across the whole of Spitalfields, but we wanted to make sure we brought the best of the vegan producers to the festival. So, and as you know, we love Redemption. And so Catherine's coming to the festival, which I'm very excited about. Be At One is on the square, which is a cocktail bar. And whilst most people will know it's a very boozy cocktail bar, it does actually have a lovely list of alcohol-free cocktails. And when they do their happy hour, their half price 2 for 1 applies to all of their cocktails, including their alcohol-free. So we've done a social there once before where we've spent like £10 and got like 1 billion cocktails, and they're all really well made, and they're running masterclasses in their basement in their place on the square as well. So there is lots and lots going on. You can definitely fill the whole of your time at the festival. And then I know that some of you might be anxious about coming alone. So I know that people will make themselves known, but lots of people come to the festival on their own. And we have got a community table where there will always be somebody from Club Soda there. And so if you're come from any community, even if it's women who don't drink or queers without beards or any of those communities, then you will be very welcome, and you won't ever have to be alone, and you'll make some new friends. So do look out. That will be really well signposted on the square anyway. It's not a big festival. It's going to be a very crammed festival. Yusi kept saying yes to people, and Nimrod kept saying, no, there's no room. How are we going to squeeze them all in? Face painting for kids, dog beer for dogs. What else have we got? Anyone got any questions? We've got everything. And, you know, I've been really, as you would expect, stressed about it. Going up a mountain last Saturday probably wasn't the best thing to do. But today I was putting together the programme, and I've been trying to do some more press work. And I was thinking, you know what? This is a really beautiful event. We haven't gone super stellar. We haven't tried to throw everything in at it, and which for me, you know, that's not bad going. We have some nice little features, like we've got micro beaches. We've been buying old suitcases and trunks and things, and we'll be filling them with sand, so you can put your feet in sand. It'll be just like pool, Dawn. It'll be just like pool. And we will, it will be a really nice day, and you'll be able to just try stuff, pick up some of the best food in London. Feel free to buy me a crosstown donut at any point that you pass the crosstown sourdough donut stand, and let's just have a lovely afternoon. I'm really looking forward to spending some time with you all as well. I've sort of cleared my diary a bit at this one, and I'm hoping that I'll have a bit more space and time just to sit and natter and all of that sort of stuff, and hear what you want from the next event. Our next festival will be in Glasgow on October the 13th, because we're mad. So any stress I feel now will pale into significance about doing an event in Glasgow. So I'm just checking. Oh, look, there may be some questions here. So I'm just going to check down. Steph, there's a toilet. You're going to try them all. So there's a toilet at the festival. It's, you know, it's central London. You can go and be at one. Cool. We have, just to let you know, Victoria, we have invited Rochester Drinks. As yet, they haven't, I think, worked out what their space is in this market, but they are on our list, and we do invite them. Oh, I need to tell you about two more things. There will be the fortune telling, thank you for the prompt, Dawn, and also the music. Let's start with the music. So Morning Gloryville will be setting off the pace. They will be dancing in the square. Music for the first 2 hours from 11 o'clock. Then we've got Jay Johnson, who's done every festival for us so far. He's just so lovely, and his music is wonderful. And Polly, who did the festival last year, singing as well. And then we have Broken Dollars singing. When I say singing, they're like big rock guys. They've actually got real beards, not hipster beards, right? And they are doing some work with Rock Sober to help raise funds for their walk and up to Everest Base Camp. And of course, that walk is raising some money for us as well. So I suspect you might be able to pick up some joint Broken Dollars and Rock Sober merchandise, because they've done some collaborations during their set. But I'm really excited to have them. It will probably scare the shit out of the genteel Spitalfields crowd. And then we've got Amy DJing, who's a Club Soda member, and we've got Sober Eric, who's also DJing, who's given up drinking, ending up the show. So there's a whole mix of music and a bit for everybody. And then we've got a fortune telling tent. So this is a bit of, right, this is my idea. So I'm hoping it's going to work. But basically, it's a space within the festival where you can speak to somebody about your drinking and talk about the future you. Now, I think that every time we talk about changing something about ourselves, we often put it off till tomorrow, I'll stop drinking tomorrow. And we're always putting basically the role, the job, the hard work onto the future us. Now, I don't want you to keep putting that off and putting it off for the future you to do. You need to change your drinking now. I needed to go on a diet and do some exercise now. So I want to create the fortune telling tent so you could get a glimpse into what the future you should could be, either through getting some advice from a professional, and there will be 20-minute slots to sit with a trained alcohol counsellor in the tent and just talk about your drinking and what you might want to change and how you might go about it in a purely confidential way. And then there are 15-minute slots each hour with a Club Soda member or two, where you can go and ask them about their experiences, what it was like for them. I hope that you will take that opportunity to see a professional there, or to go and speak to a Club Soda member confidentially and just get your questions answered. It doesn't matter what you go in to ask, you know, will you be boring if you change your drinking? No, it's so exciting being alive, and all of that sort of stuff. So it's a bit like borrowing a human library book in some ways. You'll be able to sit and ask the questions that you want from a Club Soda member or from a professional trained counsellor. So any of you who have never seen anyone before and want 20 minutes to maybe speak with somebody, that's going to be a perfect time. And I might even do a session in that tent as well. So who else is there? Is there parking anywhere close by? It is zone 1. There is no parking. If you've got a disabled badge, there are some better facilities around. If you want to park in a car park, then you would need to pre-book the private car parks nearby. But we're literally, this is on the edge of the City of London. My recommendation, if you're coming from outside London and want to drive, is to drive most of the way and then find a tube station that has free or low-cost parking on a Saturday, of which there are quite a lot in the outer London area, and get the tube all the way in. We are literally a 3-minute walk from Liverpool Street tube station. If anyone wants meeting at a tube, if anyone has access issues that might mean they need a bit of help, then let us know, because like I said, we've got a big gang of Club Soda members and they will happily come along to Liverpool Street Station or Shoreditch High Street Station, which is also not too far, and maybe come and meet you and help you if you have any mobility issues. We are really happy to do what we can to make it possible for you to come. But I will also tell you that if you're planning to drive in, it's Ride London the same weekend. So half the roads across central London are closed anyway, so you wouldn't want to do it. So that's that. Is anybody else got any more questions? A human library book. Oh, I shouldn't tell Dawn that. She'll stick it on a bloody t-shirt. I know she will. So that's it really. That's the festival. I hope we've put together a programme that is really exciting for you and balances out the fact that there's obviously loads and loads of drinks and lots of people interested in drinks, but that this is also about Club Soda members meeting other people who have been on a journey before you, and is about changing drinking habits, not just about exploring new whizzy things. If you've got any ideas on what we should do in Glasgow, then let us know. We've got training spaces and all sorts of space there. It'll be a bit colder, but we're hoping for big rugs and snugs and hopefully some fires. It will be sort of semi-indoors. It's in an old market hall. But put the 13th of October in your diary. We've also got some other really good socials coming up, and I'm going to blast those after the festival. But we'll have a beer tasting at the Bike Shed with Rock Sober. We've got something with Sober Punk coming up in Manchester. Jolene Parks is over from the States, who did the talk on grey area drinking, and we're working on a workshop with her, and that will be in early September as well. And I know that Kathy's organising a lunch her way, and all sorts of stuff. We've got the Exeter social coming up, we've got a Leeds social coming up, we've got a Birmingham social coming up. And on August the 11th, me and Ali and Martin are running the Pride 10K. It's my first 10K, and we hope you'll be there at the end of it at a picnic in Victoria Park. And there's the siren. There's always a siren if I do a webinar. So guys, put any more questions you might have on here. The postcode is a very good question. It's on the website. Hang on a second. Just so you know, Charlotte, it's on the website, is in the events tab as well. The postcode. I know the postcode of our office, which is just down the road, but I know that's not helpful. So let me just get it. So the event is on our website, is on the Mindful Drinking website, and is on the events section in the group, and is in the events section on the page. And so I just need to check the address. Facebook, I'm on too many Facebook pages. Put it together. Events. Oh my God, I see Spitalfields E1. Hang on a minute. It's because it's E16AA. Obviously, the Facebook connecting to a location, just as it is E1. It's E16AA. But it's right the middle of Spitalfields Market, T3 Valerie, right next to Liverpool Street Station, just off of Brick Lane. I don't think it could be any cooler than that. Because, no, it couldn't. And just to let you all know, this very exciting fact is that the Snog frozen yogurt people have popped up around the corner with a pop-up shop in Box Park, and I didn't even know. It's taken me ages, no one told me. So I'm going to go there in a minute and have a frozen yogurt instead of actual food. It makes me happy.